one and all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Author Dome. I'm your humble interview, Jordan. With me, as always, is our sensational screenwriter. Say hi, sensational screenwriter.
Hi, sensational screenwriter.
Rekha, thank you so much. This is so exciting. We are. I mean, obviously, I'm the first press, and I use that term pretty loosely. First press you were doing since Kickstarter launched. Maybe like the first non-family member you've talked to, because it launched 12 minutes ago.
Yes, it launched 12 minutes ago. Bless you for thinking my family has responded to it or knows that I'm making a movie. I have told them, but I don't know that they know what I'm talking about. I sent it to them. I'll even check right now to see if family has replied. Nobody in my family has replied.
Incredible. An
That's
incredible
awesome.
start.
Good.
I mean, do you have the tab open, or are you just hitting refresh, watching it go
No,
up?
I don't have the tab open.
Do you want to know what you're at right now?
Sure.
$14,183.
Hell yeah, let's go.
We're like 12 minutes in. 2 people have already paid for you to DM a game for them. You have to do that now.
Souls. You sick souls. I told Laser, my campaign manager, I was like, make sure they know it's gonna be stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll try my best. If you think that'll be interesting, I'll do it for you, but it'll be dumb.
Yeah, I'm really excited. The name of the thing is a fun and stupid RPG with Rekha. Like,
perfect. As long as you know what you're getting.
Never run a tabletop game before, but willing to give it a shot.
I have the DM handbook, and I'm like, I'm willing to go through it. I'm willing to ask Abria a bunch of questions. I'm willing to put in the work to make it not a totally like insane experience for you guys. So.
All right, but we should obviously start with the most important thing. You've really never been cheated on?
Oh! What's funny, I don't know if it made the cut. When Iffy asked me that, I said no, obviously, and then Iffy was shocked for 50 years. When I thought about it, I was like, I guess my first boyfriend did do some version of cheating. At the time, it was a thing where at the time I didn't interpret it as that. So it didn't become the like solidified narrative I like wrote about that relationship. It was only later with like more experience. I was like, wait, that sucks that he did that. So Aphie ironically is right, but it was so, oh my God. I watched that clip for fun. It makes me laugh so hard.
So funny. So Iffy's reaction, so funny. Just like so full of flabbergast at the concept.
Oh no, it's actually because I'm too feminist that I crazy.
So good. Speaking of boyfriends, Rekha, how are you doing? Yeah, I know. Obviously, someone asked me to ask you about it, and I was like, well, clearly you're not following the very important news that you and Yoshi have broken up.
Yeah, I feel like it's important.
He doesn't believe in movies, if I understand correctly.
He doesn't believe in movies. Yeah, he broke up with me, which makes sense. I don't want anyone to get it twisted that it was mutual or that I did it. He broke up with me because I told him I was doing a movie, and he claimed he didn't know that. But I was like, babe, what do you think I've been working on for the last year? I've been talking to you about it. I've vented to you about it. Like, oh, I can't get this scene right. And you would always say something. But he claimed he'd never heard about it, and I have to take him at his word. When you're someone's partner, you have to respect that boundary. Where if they say they weren't listening, you have to accept that. You can't try to change him. So, yeah, he wasn't listening, and he got upset. He thinks we've made all the art that we're supposed to make, and that art is sort of a sign of the falling of man, and like that men aren't men anymore, and that it's really tragic. And you know what? I have to respect that. I have to. If your partner says a bunch of stuff, no matter what it is, you have to respect that, or you're being toxic.
Yeah. I think we can see why you've never been cheated on, which is
so yeah, he did say that, like, you know, he'd consider taking me back if we like do really well in the campaign, because ultimately he said, and I understand this and I respect this, that he's after me for a paycheck because he doesn't want to work, which again, I totally respect, because he's stating his boundaries outright. I have to respect them.
Yeah, that just makes sense. But
Yeah.
speaking of said movie,
Mhm.
I don't think we've actually said the title yet.
Oh my
Just
God,
that
Vidya's Guide to the Afterlife.
Vithia's Guide to the Afterlife. Really exciting. And I guess I mean, on topic, I have my rewards pulled up. I have not backed yet because I haven't decided what to back yet
Yes.
at. But the one that is easily the most exciting and the most tempting is Thick Dinos plus the movie, which is you get 4 hot dinosaur stickers.
Yeah.
And they are like, I'm assuming these are the stickers that are coming to you. They are very thick and very hot dinosaurs.
They are very hot. Those are the stickers you will get. They're very, very hot, and they have no IP attached to them, so nobody can get mad about that. No weird litigious video game company can get mad about that.
Yeah, totally in the clear. But yeah, I mean that's at $30 for hot dinosaurs. That's a steal.
For you and your 3 best friends.
Yeah,
You can each have something gorgeous to put on your water bottle or your face or your laptop.
yes. Put a hot dinosaur sticker on your face, and then we have things like sassy on a T-shirt. Another iconic reward that just like such a photogenic's not the right word.
Thank you.
But like it's like a car crash you can't look away from photogenic, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. So Kate Thompson, who is Jessica Ross's wife and a good friend of mine, illustrated that design. And what I told her is I gave her pictures of what Sassy looks like when you pick her up, and her jaw drops and she just looks shocked when you pick her up. So I gave her a few pictures of that. I said, just make it look like she's sort of being abducted into the sky, but not in a religious way. I want it to be like sci-fi. Kate nailed it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Some show posters, some things where you'll write things for people.
Yeah.
Special thanks. Like I mentioned, an RPG with you. Also with Sandeep, the director of the movie.
Yes.
Currently at 0. More people are excited to play with someone who doesn't know what they're doing than they are to play with someone who absolutely does.
And listen, ain't that the truth? Ain't that a symptom of America? They're like, wouldn't it be funny if?
Wouldn't it be funny if we forced Rekha to get out what she calls the DM's handbook, which is absolutely not what it's called.
What is it called?
The guide, the player's handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide. Look, I'm just trying to help you out. The internet will come for you.
My partner had a hockey game and I went to it and I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I was like one of the only people in the audience. And I kept using like show terms instead of sport terms. I was like, oh, do you guys have like rehearsal tonight? I'm like, I
don't. So close.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk Vithia's Guide
to
the Afterlife. It's a movie that you wrote.
It's a movie
that
I wrote.
Sandeep is directing, which is also very exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's can you give me the log line?
Yes.
That's a thing, right?
It's now you're talking movies. I love it.
I'm ready.
Yes. So it is about a woman whose whole family gets Hindu raptured, which is not a real thing. And she's the only Hindu left, and she's very dumb. So it's like the only Hindu left in the world that has to figure out Hinduism by herself. So she has to end up conducting like a 13-day death ceremony for her grandmother that had just passed before this rapture happened. But she doesn't know how to do any of it right. So it's supposed to kind of scratch the itch of like, if you've ever been born into a culture or religion that isn't super explained to you, or perhaps the place you live is not the place that religion is from, it can be really hard to know what is what. So for me, I was born in Connecticut and grew up Hindu. So my understanding of Hinduism is pretty tenuous. And when I lost my grandfather several years ago, I had to do this ceremony for the first time, and I was totally freaking lost. It was so confusing, and you're already devastated and sad. And then you're also like trying to study and figure out what everyone's talking about. They're literally speaking in a different language. And it wasn't comforting to me to go through some of those motions. And it was like a decision I had to make. It's like, well, do I be a good Hindu and do everything correctly where I'm not supposed to cry and all these other things? Or do I feel better because crying makes me feel better, So I promise it's a comedy movie because there is like a buddy aspect where she does find a Hindu priest that she teams up with, and it's like a dumb buddy comedy of them trying to figure stuff out. And there's a lot of stupid shit in this movie, but there's this undertone of like, how do you create your own traditions, and what makes you a good blank, good Indian person, good daughter, whatever.
Yeah.
But I promise it's funny.
Yeah, of course it'll be funny. We know it'll be funny. That's the given.
Yes.
Is also heavily inspired by a really bad Hindu priest, if I've been following the newsletters correctly.
Jordan, oh my God. Yes. So the priest during my grandfather's ceremony, he sucks. It's so annoying. So part of what is challenging about being in a Hindu family in America is that your access to Hindu things is very limited. So
I imagine, especially in Connecticut.
The closest temple in Connecticut, I don't even remember where we would drive to because I was so little. It was an hour and a half away. Imagine if your church or your synagogue was an hour and a half away. And very often in temple, you're not necessarily going for like a sermon or something. You're going to do like prayers to the gods and then you leave. It takes like 10 minutes, but you're driving an hour and a half or 2 hours. It was so painful as a kid. And when I moved to Philadelphia, the closest was Delaware or New Jersey. So you still had to leave the state. Or you could find random priests that had one in their house that they made. Imagine going to a pastor's house. You're not supposed to do that. Spotlight would be all over it. So that was like a tricky thing. So it's like, okay, who are the Hindu priests even in this area? Who are the Hindu priests that speak my family's language? Tamil. Who are the Hindu priests that know how to perform these death rites? And there was like one, and he has a monopoly on the whole East Coast. Truly would be flying from Florida to Pennsylvania, all around. To give some perspective, someone in my family got married in the Midwest. That priest was the same priest they used on Love is Blind Chicago for the 2 Indian people in season 1. These are so few people. It's just like you get these monopolies on areas of the country. So this man monopolized the East Coast for Tamil Hindu rites. And so he's allowed to be as shitty as he wants to be because he's the only person that can do these things. And he's so, man, he would just be like constantly adding stuff to the list of things we needed to buy. It's an overwhelming time. Everyone's already sad. They're like, you need this for this puja, this for this ritual, this for this ritual. And you're like, oh, because you told me this 5 minutes before I needed to get it, I cannot find it. He's like, it's okay. You can give me $500. You're like, oh, awesome. How convenient that I can give you $500. That's awesome. So like,
what a wonderful service he offers.
What a wonderful service. And you get to keep that $500. Cool. It doesn't like go to the temple. Awesome. Because he's like someone that travels, right? There's temples that have their priests that stay in-house. And then these are people that perform rites. I'm not saying all Hindu priests are like this. I'm saying mine is. He is a crook. And what was ironic, I'm like, my grandfather would be like, this guy is a criminal. Do not talk to him. He'd be like, oh, while you're in India, get these special vessels because you're supposed to do something to honor the person every year after they pass. Oh, for your 1-year ceremony, go get these special vessels. They're available at my brother's house. Oh, how cool. We buy these special vessels from your brother that we return to you after the ceremony. And you don't by chance give those vessels back to your brother to resell to someone else, do you? Just a guess. Just a lot of stuff like that. And he's left his phone on during the ceremony, so it would just go off. I'm like, you're telling me it's disrespectful that I'm crying at my grandfather's like death ceremony and you're leaving your freaking Nokia on? Back off, dude. He tried to arrange someone in my family's marriage at one of these ceremonies. I'm like, hey, not the freaking time. I tried to call him to get advice for this movie, even though I really didn't want to. My dad's like, just go ask him. I don't know the answers to anything. And so, which is awesome. And so I called him and he's like, why do you want to know? And I was like, I'm making a student film. Because if I said like a real movie, he'd be like,
yeah,
and he was like, Rekha, it's too
consulting fee is actually.
Exactly. He was like, Rekha, it's too complicated to explain. I'd need like 3 hours. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And then he said, I shit you not. He said, why aren't you married yet? And I was like, I hate you so much. So sorry, you didn't mean for me to talk this long to answer that question, but I do not like this man.
This is exactly what I wanted.
I don't like him. So that inspired this as well, because you're like, he's ostensibly a man of God, but he is a worse person, I think, than me. So, and I don't know as much. So it's just like to get at that relativity of like, does that make him so good because he knows all these scriptures and Vedas? Like, no, I think he's bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like I have to channel Brennan here and be like, capitalism is the bad guy, and this guy has very much embraced the capitalism of death ceremonies.
Yes.
Which feels like the worst kind of capitalism.
Oh my God. It's like ostensibly like, okay, the funeral industry, right, is kind of just as insidious as the wedding industry in a lot of ways, where they're like upselling you on this thing where you're like, okay, I guess if you say so. And it's like they're just making money off you. It's horrible. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I think this is all very good.
Thank you.
Very good. This is very good to get out. Yes, it's a funny movie. Is it going to star my favorite actress from Hacks?
Yes.
Which is you, in case that's not clear.
Yes, it's me. Wow, I can't believe that my 2-line role in season 1, episode 5 or whatever.
It's very important, very formative. Someone in my Discord the other day was like, I was just watching Hacks and I saw Rekha. And then they listed other people who were in Hacks that I didn't remember.
That's very funny.
Also were in Hacks. And I was like, no, I knew Rekha's part. I don't remember the other one. But yeah, that's exciting.
Yes.
And I know, obviously, I've seen assumptions made about you. I'm assuming this is not going to be a rom-com based on how angry rom-coms make you.
No. I love a rom-com, but I also get pissed by a rom-com. This is not a rom-com. It's so funny because when I was writing the script, because I wrote it as a buddy comedy and the other character is a man, I did get a few people being like, oh, is there a romance between them? I was like, no. Even though I like to watch little kisses, I don't want to do them in a movie, and I don't find them funny. So I don't want to. I'm like, I'm writing this for myself. I cannot write me kissing a Hindu priest in this movie. That makes me sick to my stomach. I don't want to. So I was like, I so much prefer the unlikely duo of like a bereaved, upset pastry chef and her crooked Hindu priest.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super fun. By the way, $18,049 now.
Good.
I've got it going on my other monitor.
Oh my
it's very fun to watch it tick up.
That is so awesome. People are really nice.
Yeah, and like you have is the live stream tonight at Dynasty Typewriter?
Tonight.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what that is in case?
Yes.
I'll try to make a clip of it before the ticket. The live stream will be available afterwards.
The live stream's available. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's.
I know it's sold out in person anyway. So.
Yes. It's called Rekha and Friends Present the Afterlife. It's going to just be a fun Kickstarter fundraiser show to just kick off today because it's so exciting. We've got improv, we've got little games, we've got magic, which is stupid and fun. Oops.
Oh gosh.
See? Magic, I disappeared. And does this happen all the time, Jordan?
It does not, weirdly enough.
That's cool. So, okay, nobody else has like kind of a really frail, precarious grasp on their webcam. But you can see my CPAP machine. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's gonna be a really fun kickoff show. It's
magic, improv, a third thing.
Pizza.
Pizza.
The Rekha pizza that was made in Philadelphia at Queen and Rook Board Game Cafe, a great restaurant in Philadelphia. They are flying the Rekha out for us to try on stage, which is
the Rekha a limited time run, or is this a permanent institution? The audacity to make it a limited time run. I can hear it in your voice. I'm upset for you.
I'm pissed.
Add it to the menu, Queen and the Rook, you cowards.
They say it's limited, but they're hoping it could be permanent. If it's popular, I don't know if there'd be any reason they wouldn't. So if you want it to be popular, go to Queen and Rook and order the Rekha. I cannot believe people are going to have to say that in a restaurant. Yeah. That's so cute. I love that.
Philadelphians, Southern New Jerseyans.
Yes.
Other states that are nearby.
Delawareans.
Get there. Oh, that's so much fun. Yeah, and I know, obviously, like, that came about because you talked about on Gastronauts that no one had named something on a menu for you, which is incredibly cool. But also, this is, now a serious question. That's not fun. But, like, a really cool, like, not just, as you pointed out, like often fusion food is, we added a curry spice to like our tacos. Now it's Indian Mexican fusion.
Yes.
Like an actual fusion of
Yes.
pizza and Indian food.
Yes.
What is the Rekha?
The Rekha, so I believe all the dough at Queen and Rook, I believe, is like fermented in some way, which is really cool because a lot of South Indian food is fermented. So the crust is that dough. Then there is chana masala, one of my favorite Indian foods, which is like a chickpea stewed curry. You have samosa filling, so potatoes and peas with like spices. You have the chutneys that are traditionally served with samosas, which are cilantro chutney and tamarind chutney. I believe there is a vegan yogurt raita, which is like a cooling yogurt sauce, cilantro and red onion. So all the accoutrement you'd get with like samosa chaat, which is like an appetizer in Indian food, all on a sour crust. So it sounds awesome. Oh, and then they topped it with, there is a snack called Sev or Save, S-E-V. I say Sev in case you've heard it that way. And if I say Save, you know, like how people say Dave Patel, but it's like Dave. Okay, whatever. So Save, it's like a crunchy lentil, like crispy thing.
Wait,
and
do people say Dave Patel?
Absolutely.
That's deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Dave Patel? Am
so
I saying it?
It's like you add a little H in there. It's like Dave, D-H-E-V kind of.
Okay.
And some people say Dev, and then some people say Dave. I say neither. But
Mr. Patel, would you like to play?
Yeah, I say Mr. Patel. I say
would
Captain
you like to
Patel.
Play the Hindu
Patel,
priest in my buddy comedy?
Please be in my movie so I can make a lot of money.
If Captain Patel is in your movie, big rewrite where you kiss him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
Right. Yeah.
Page 1 rewrite. Dear God. Page 1 rewrite. Interior. Rekha's current apartment. Rekha is herself. She is not Vidya. Dave Patel knocks on her door and says, "Oh my God, I'm just looking for someone to kiss." Act 3, they're still kissing.
Act 3, they're still kissing. The rapture happens. Credits.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's in the background. Yeah. We don't care. It's on the news.
Yep. Amazing. I interrupted pizza, but pizza is coming.
That's the pizza. Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah, speaking of iffy and Indian food, the last time I saw him in Austin, he was doing stand-up, and my wife and I went and saw him, and afterwards we were going to a place in Austin called the Indian Kitchen. That's the name of it. My brain is instantly short-circuiting on the actual name of the restaurant.
Absolutely fine.
India Kitchen. There's no N at the end. And Iffy is friends with one of the Top Chef contestants, and they were talking about like where they were gonna go afterwards. She was also there, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to India Kitchen," and I had this moment of panic because I was like, if she says this place is bad, it's going to hurt my feelings so much because I like it so much, and like I'm gonna feel so judged. And she's like, "Oh, that place is great," and I was like,
"Hell yeah,
huge win for me."
Oh my God, I didn't know if he was maybe did I know that? Why isn't he introducing me?
She's in Austin, so that is probably why he has not introduced you.
Okay.
But they play Magic the Gathering together.
Oh, Ashley.
Yeah.
Yep. I know it is. That's so funny.
Yeah. So
incredible.
It was a moment of panic where I was like, if she says it's bad.
Yeah, if a chef tells you something's nasty, oh no. And you're like, that's my favorite food.
Yeah. But no,
brutal.
She was like, it's great. She was like, I live right by it. During like lockdown, we got takeout from it all the time. And I was like,
oh, incredible.
Huge win for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, the food was delicious. And samosa is an absolute must get at every like so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Pizza. We should talk more about Philadelphia.
Yes.
Because the city has embraced you as only they can. They're climbing light posts for you.
It's so crazy. So I am from Philadelphia, but I was not born there. And also I will always attribute it to this, but my parents are immigrants. They don't like live somewhere. They like end up somewhere. It is completely incidental to them, like where they are. Like when they immigrated here, we lived in Michigan, and you would never know. They're not talking about any of the places they've lived because it's just simply where there was a job. So they don't really like explore any of these places they have lived. So I never really explored Philadelphia growing up. Only through my friends in high school did I like go to Reading Terminal Market or whatever. But I am surrounded by a kind of demented number of Philadelphians in Los Angeles. Jessica Ross, Kate Thompson, Andrew Stanton, my own roommate Luke Field, my partner, my friend David Danella. Like the list goes on and on and on. There are so many of us here. And through them, I am getting quite a Philadelphia education. And now when I go back, I like try the things that they recommend and go to all these places that I have more of an appreciation for now, especially as a vegetarian. I became a vegetarian like in the beginning of high school or end of middle school, and I had no income. So the idea of going to the city to eat was like crazy.
Yeah.
But also it was like if my friends did do that, they went to get dim sum and I like couldn't really eat much there anyway. Now there's so much variety in terms of vegetarian food in Philadelphia, or at least I'm aware of it now. And I have slightly more income than zero. So I can actually like appreciate stuff there. So I went to Queen and Rook last year and it was a blast. I went to Tattoo Moms, which is right down the street, and it's so good. Charlie Was a Sinner. Reading Terminal is always fun. So now I can actually explore these things, and I feel like stolen valor for being a Philadelphian because I was so unfamiliar with it for so long. But they have said, no, valor, regular valor. Here's a pizza for you. And it's such an honor.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You got to learn the death rights, and then you monopolize the West Coast. And then boom, your income through the roof.
I have told people, I'm like, make your kid a priest because you are nice. I think your kid would be nicer. Just like make there be nice priests. The one on Love Is Blind was nice. He when I met him, he was really nice. Can he just have the East Coast too? Don't stop at the Midwest. Just kind of keep moving east. That would be awesome.
I want this Hindu priest war of just like Midwest, East Coast rivalries. Yeah.
Oh no, is my internet connection unstable? Oh, there we. Yes, I hope for that very much.
It's a little choppy, but you're
part
good.
of me is like, okay. Part of me is like, is my family's priest watching this? Because he knows exactly who I'm talking about because he's the only one on the East Coast. Well, also he's not watching this, so it doesn't matter.
He's probably not watching. And even if he is, I'm going to guess he doesn't actually care.
Yes.
Because he seems to be pretty locked in on the things he cares about, which is
money,
making the money and not anything else. So,
yes. I think he's one-track minded in that way.
Yeah. I mean, that just makes sense to me. Speaking of Philadelphia, kind of. You went to PAX U this year? Maybe?
I did.
Yes. That's in Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure. Everybody on my Patreon wants to know. Desi Quest, when are we getting more of it?
Well, so I think literally it just happened. I think the trailer dropped or some clips have dropped last week. And I believe, before I talk out of turn, the premiere is so soon. It amazing. Is. Oh yeah, the winter special started Wednesday, February 19th at 9 p.m. And I believe there's going to be a new episode weekly. So there you go. And this is their mini season. It was so fun, the holiday special. And it's all based around like old Indian fables and mythology. It's really cool. And it's like set around a campfire. So I think it is a very, very special season. And I hope you guys like it.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
Are you now that I obviously like I'll double check, but now that you have to run a game for some folks, does that mean you're gonna jump in the chair at Desi Quest?
No way. I can't do it, Jasmine. No way. You kidding me? I couldn't do it on Dimension 20, and I've been on that thing 4 times. I can't do it. If it's supposed to be meaningful and good, I can't do it. That's why I had to tell you guys. I'm not doing false advertising.
Very important update before you say that. Now 4 people have backed at the.
We
You have
got a
to run a
table.
game for them. You got a table, and Laser appears to have added a second table because now there are 4 more spots available.
So sick.
Yeah.
So sick trying to make me do this. But you see, I'm not false advertising. I told you it's gonna be fun and stupid. I didn't
Yeah.
say meaningful and good. I said fun and stupid.
Look, those things are not mutually exclusive. By the way, you've now broken $20,000. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Also, I don't think we've talked since Never Stop Blowing Up. I think we talked right before it started.
Yes, you're right.
What a season of absolute madness. Speaking of stupid, my God, the whole thing. At one point recently, I was talking to someone, I was like, just imagine trying to explain the finale of Never Stop Blowing Up to someone and being like, no, I promise it makes sense if you watch the whole season.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Throwing a shirt at the front of a speeding car.
What about it?
Walk me through the logic, Rekha.
Listen, here's what people don't realize. You are listening to so many people talk, and it gives you an idea, and you're like, you can't see the flaws in it on your own because you're just overloaded with information. So you're just like, okay, I'm in a speeding car. I think, forgotten that Brennan said it was moving like 5 quadrillion miles an hour.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, if I can just do this, and I was trying to think in character too, and like, what have I established? To a fault, I always look in my rearview mirror metaphorically of like, what have I already said about this character? And I'm like, Usha doesn't know how to use this car, but she knows her guy is oily. So can she create like a Donkey Kong Country or like Diddy Kong Racing kind of oil slick for herself to speed up, like a speed ramp? Now, I forgot how fast I was going, okay? And I say something out loud and now I have to do it and break my wrist off. Okay, fine. Fine. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. Now, to be fair to you, later in the same season, you created an oil slick that tricked airplanes. So, like, had the role been there, it would have worked.
And this is what I'm saying. People don't realize that if you get a nat 20, it's actually awesome because it has to work. You just really likely won't. But if you do, the story becomes awesome. It's just that it doesn't really happen that much.
Right.
And the
like
oil slick
5% of the time specifically.
Yes, exactly. And the oil slick thing was really funny. And you don't get that without doing the stupid move earlier.
No, yeah. Well, both moments were very funny. Breaking the wrist was very funny. Just like as Brendan's like, no, we're doing this. You said it, we're doing it. And then yes, the flummoxed of Brennan as he has to narrate how the planes are tricked to crash into the ground was equally as funny. Yeah, into beans. Yes.
He said oil drum. And for the record, guys, I know oil drums aren't necessarily filled with oil. I know oil drums aren't filled with wet beans or whatever the hell. We're in a stupid movie. Izzy shot bullets out of her back. Let me make an airplane slip. Isn't that great storytelling? That Usha couldn't do it before, but now she can. I love to do that.
Yeah, that's great storytelling. Is there something specific about old women that draw you into playing them as characters?
Yes, I love them. I love old people. I was half raised by my grandparents. The movie is sort of a dedication to my grandparents. Like, losing my grandfather was so hard for me. And I wrote this to kind of get through some of that grief. I just so love hanging around old people. I get them. I love a cranky old person. I get that too. And old aunties specifically are so funny and fun to me because they will tell you it like it is or like it isn't, just like what they think it is. They are like unchangeable. And I think there is something really moving about somebody who was born in a time that is no longer relevant to so many of the people that are relevant to her. in the case of Usha, where like she had these skills, but they quickly became unusable, you know? That's really sad to me. There's like a core of empathy for that character, as silly and crazy as she is. And I think there's something beautiful to like, I had not intended for her to necessarily change her ways by the end and be like, I embrace technology. I just thought maybe she'll ask for help more or whatever. But Brennan gave that monologue about how like a failure to change is a failure and is like a what is being stubborn and what is being helpful to yourself. So I made Usha kind of like, she knows how to turn on a computer by the end. You know, she is a little more savvy than she was before, to just give her a little bit of an arc. Because that's cool. The idea that she could take a class in her old age. You can do that. I think that's nice. So yeah, I like to play a baddie lunatic with an empathy core.
I love it. I love it so much. Obviously, we'll see more of it tomorrow when you're in whatever the next season of Dimension 20 is, right?
Perfect. I think I know what season is premiering tomorrow. So I am not in it, but it is so funny to joke that I would be in whatever this season is once you see what it is.
Great. I love it. Speaking of things on Dropout, oh man, we're on great transitions here. Smarty Pants season 2 is coming. First, obviously, big question: where is your chair on the set?
Heaven.
Does it move for season 2, or is it going to still remain a mystery?
It's in heaven. It's in hell. It's under the studio. It's above the studio. It's inside of Paul Robolino's mind. Yes, we did move the chair because everyone was so confused. It was so funny because like I totally understand why people don't understand where it is. But when you're on set and you see it is simply next to the couch, you're like, people don't know where this is? That's crazy. But I get it. So we moved it closer to the couch.
Great. Love it. Obviously, Smarty Pants season 1, absolute triumph. So much fun.
Yay!
Really excited. It looks like you're really leaning into the we are a secret society teaching people things. That seems very fun.
Yes.
But 2, last year it was Teo, Katie, and Paul were like the big 3 that people were talking about in every interview I did about Smarty Pants. Who are the big 3 this year that people like? And by the way, though everyone was correct. Those were the big 3 coming out of that season.
Yes. I feel like Jeremy's was crazy. Jeremy Colhane.
That tracks, yeah.
Yeah. Demi's crazy. Having to remember. Who else was nutso?
Did anyone reach the level of anger that Teo generated? That feels like a yes, and I'm excited for it. You don't have to say who.
I'm like, I think that we do have a couple like that. I'll say this season feels less like hot takey, but what really pumped me up on set, and Matt Pollock, our creative on it, was we feel like people used the format really well. Like we both, after one day of shooting, were like, I think this is what the show is. They used like the space really well. They used a lighting gag really well. And it was like, oh yeah, we can do this because we have 4 walls, we have an audience. There's like certain things only this show could do, as opposed to I'm actually a VIP or whatever. And I think we found those this season, which that I am really excited about. So I think you will see more people not just like standing in front of a screen. You'll see a little more stuff.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we do need to talk about Teo though, right? Like, I mean,
I played Blood on the Clock Tower with him on Saturday, and there was a charcuterie board, and they very kindly made like a vegetarian one that was just like crackers and fruit and cheese, and one that was like the meats. So I like pointed it as like, here's yours, because it was all just like meat. And yeah, that's what he was eating.
Yeah.
Sicko.
I mean, he wants a sandwich.
He wants a sandwich.
The most bonkers thing I've ever seen. I got to talk to Anna about it somewhat recently, which was delightful. She's not over it yet either.
I'm glad that meat eaters feel this way too, because like to me, I'm just like, that sounds like a way to fart and never shit or something. I don't know. Like, this sounds nasty, but meat eaters also have found this to be disgusting.
Yeah. Well, there were so many things in it that were
Yeah.
so, besides just like but like, it was, I want cheddar cheese, uh, any kind of cracker, and a bunch of meat and a pickle. And it's like,
Ugh.
what board have you built?
I
It's
know,
a
you made a
nightmare.
sandwich, you crazy
Yes.
lunatic. And then when I was like, "What would you do for vegetarian?" He's like, "A couple Impossible Burgers." I'm like, "You want 2 loose Impossible Burgers, a thing that is this big
Yeah.
on your charcuterie board for me? Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare person."
Nightmare. Just things that charcuterie boards shouldn't be. Oh, well, it was hot at one point,
Yeah.
and now it has cooled to room temperature.
Yeah.
Please enjoy this
Yeah,
vegetarian
I
burger.
didn't even think about the fact that it would be a room temp Impossible Burger. Teo is a
Mm-mm.
sick man. He's so freaky. People don't know it. People don't know Teo and Raph are freaks
Yeah.
because they're quiet, but they're really big freaks.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Raph to stand up. That
He's
tracks
a
for me.
freak. Yeah.
I watched him take a screenshot of his phone while he was trying to open it to do something else, which was very funny.
Of course he did.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of other things, I'm done with transitions. Robots having sex. Nobody asked. What a show.
Okay.
I
Yes.
loved it so much. Absolute delight. What was it like on set the day that you spent 8 hours trying to get Roombas to fuck?
It was so fun because we really didn't know what would happen. I think that was one of the experiences where, to me, I felt like it was so nice having our expert on set it felt like a nice marriage between stupid and science, where he's like, "Oh, this isn't working because it's tipping the balance, so you're less likely to da 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 da. So we should try this." And we were really implementing those changes in real time to try to make this happen. And for me as a comedian, while Eric was doing that, it was just really fun. Nobody asked me to do this. Nobody asked. But I was like, I want to narrate like a little love story for these two, because if something happens, it'll be so much more exciting that they have a backstory. That was a blast for me. I could do that all day. Narrate 2 little robots moving around.
Oh, it's so good. It's a thing that, like, maybe if someone wanted to, they could. Writing by Rekha on like a Kickstarter reward. It seems like the kind of thing that you could write up a real quick 1-page or a piece of fiction about a robot backstory if that was a prompt that someone wanted to send to
Oh,
you.
that could be interesting.
Super interesting.
Think about it.
Yeah, I love it. Was there a nobody asked that wasn't yours that was like what's your favorite that wasn't yours?
Okay. My favorite when I saw it was probably watching Iffy and Oscar in that room trying not to get the motion detector to go off, because Ellie was like pretty good at it.
Mhm.
The picture of Iffy standing there with all the cash and his eyes bugging out is so funny. And then watching Oscar,
I don't understand what happened.
oh my
Like,
God.
Like the motion detector just kept going off when he was still was
It
the funniest thing in the world. 'Cause
I
it
was
made
like
him so mad.
crying watching that. And then I forget what his number wasn't it like 92 times or
It
something?
was something crazy.
Oh my
Yes.
God. It is so funny for such a small room for that to have happened that many times. That really killed me. And then Brian's was actually legitimately touching, the opera singing one.
Here's the thing. I was not prepared. I was prepared to like maybe I'll laugh so hard I'll cry. I was not prepared to cry when you're like, "Hey Brian, you actually hit the note
You hit it by yourself.
on your own." On
Yep.
your own. I was like, "Well, I wasn't ready for actual emotions in this show."
It is
Uh,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a super fun show.
Yeah.
I hope we're getting season 2.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
The comments were really popping off about it. I think it was a blast. Chelsea Christer, the director, did such a good job making it look cool. Like those live title cards, like a balloon being inflated that says jazz music or whatever, or the like Roomba picking up the RoboCopulation title like in real time. I just thought that was so creative and pretty. Like it gave me like old Nickelodeon vibes in a really cool way. So she's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the same way that, like you said, Smarty Pants like has found its footing in
Yeah.
season 2. Like it feels like a Nobody Asked could also really find explore
Totally.
that footing because I will say as an audience member, I wanted so much more of the science, and I
Yeah.
feel like because it was Dropout, the instinct was pull back science, push comedy, be like,
Yep.
no, we could do both. Just
I know.
give us more science.
I know. We have a lot of like straight up nerds
Yes.
that want that spicy science.
Yeah, people miss their myth busters. I shouldn't have
Yes.
said it that way.
Yes.
And they want just a little taste.
Yes. I will say too, it was really fun doing that kids experiment with the S.
Yes.
I would love if we got a season 2. More stuff with like with kids is really funny to me. They left some of it in there, but those kids were just so funny and so sassy about us being like, "Do you think this cool?" They're like, "No."
Yeah. Kids are brutal.
They're
Absolutely
so
brutal.
funny.
Yes.
There's a little boy that kept asking me, saying why. I don't know if you remember that segment. He's like trying to say I could do a cool why. And I was like, why? I don't know why, I guess. And he's like, no, why? I'm like, I don't know. And it was like, oh, we're doing like a who's on first right now.
A full who's on first happened. Absolute magic.
So cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that the reformatting of the Cool S, the history of the Cool S was
so
also very
those
fun.
Those guys were so interesting.
Yeah. It was such a fun show. Also, I mean, I guess like we got our Game Changer season 7 teaser.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about it. Here's what I know about it. Brennan has told me to strap in. Sam has confirmed that. Chloe Badner has said that something in like the beauty of the design made them cry with how proud they were of their work. So those are like the big things I know. Is there anything you would like to add in terms of like get people hyped about the next season of Game Changer?
Yeah. There's more to it than you think. That's what I'll say.
Great. Perfect. The internet is going to lose their minds about that.
Over what that means.
Yes. And also, I will say, as someone who I think most of the people at Dropout blame me for spreading the Sam Dalton conspiracy.
Wait, what's the Sam Dalton conspiracy?
Do you really not know what it is? Or
no.
Oh, okay. So Sam, when he does like his little like intro, he looks at his hands. And it was just like a thing that he did. And someone came up with a theory that Sam Dalton was actually the Escape the Green Room, that Sam Dalton had never left, and this was actually a season where Sam Dalton was, and he was looking at his hands because he didn't understand the body that he was in.
That's so funny.
And I made a video talking about it, and it went very, very well in terms of reach. And I have heard from a few people at Dropout who are like, I saw it because of you. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, as a culprit of spreading stuff that annoys Sam, it's actually okay to do.
Yeah.
The amount of people that come up to me and ask me where I'm from, and then someone who doesn't know what they're talking about that's a friend of mine is like, are you okay? Are they hate criming you? I'm like, no. This is a reference.
Oh, yeah. That could be a hate crime.
Someone was like, hey, are you okay? People keep writing, where are you from on your posts? Like, I'm like, no. I don't think they're being weird. I think they're commenting on this other thing.
This thing that I have tortured Sam to the end of time with. Are you how proud of yourself are you for that?
Listen, sometimes I'm never going to be a superstar, Jordan. If I could have any lasting impact on Dropout, it's a huge win for me. I love that.
Yeah, you've ruined Sam's life forever.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's so awesome. Sometimes you need the public to tell you what you've done. Because to me, we were just doing a bit on that episode, but then the public really took it and ran with it. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it has turned into a whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you recall, when the Dropout Discord existed still, there was an Ask Sam channel. And if you put "Where's Sam from?" it auto got deleted because so many people tried to put it in.
Is so funny. I did not know that. That is that's really funny.
It's It's magic, is what it is. You created magic. Speaking of magic, there's magic at your show tonight, and I don't think you told any of the people that are going to be there along with you. We got sidetracked by pizza.
Yes.
Who's on this live stream with you tonight?
We're going to have Brendan Lee Mulligan, Izzy Rowland, Jordan Myrick, Kendall Landreth, Lily Dew, Felicia Day, Sandeep Parikh, Dhruv Uday Singh. And it is going to be so freaking stupid and fun. There's going to be improv games, a fun improv set, magic, like I said. We'll do live Kickstarter updates. We're going to have a pizza delivery. The person is flying from Philadelphia as we speak with this pizza.
I love that so much.
It's crazy.
They're flying. They cooked it in Philadelphia. It will be room temperature when it gets to you, and had sat on a plane all day. I can't wait.
Exactly, but it's vegan, so what could go bad? Nothing.
Yeah. Speaking of Izzy, also wrote a movie about death.
Yes.
Did you guys get to like brainstorm together of like, hey?
So Izzy told me, I will be humiliated if I'm wrong about this, that I helped inspired her to write hers, because I told her I was writing a movie and that I was going to have to make it myself. Now, Izzy is a go-getter and did it all way faster than me. But yeah, I got to read a draft of hers and help with joke punch up once at her house. And then she sent me a cut of it that I got to give notes on. So yeah, it was nice to kind of collaborate on this stuff. We have like really different experiences. Like obviously hers is about her father. Also mine is much more kind of the inspiration from my grandfather is there, but it's very much about like the religion and being confused by it. But definitely there's some, collaboration there. And it's kind of just nice when your friends are also doing the same big, stupid dream at the same time, because Izzy's campaign did so well. I'm like, okay, I guess it's possible to fund a movie on Kickstarter. The last time I ran a Kickstarter by myself was in 2016 for a digital series I did. And I was like, I hope I can raise $12,000. And I raised 14 in 30 days. I am a much different writer and person now, but it's only, 9 years later. And I'm asking for so much more. So it feels pretty crazy. But to see, your friends and your peers do it, you're like, okay, it could be possible.
Are you going to put Brennan in the movie? That way, like, you can get that Brennan bump. I think that really helps. Help sell a movie. You throw a bone.
I would love, let him have his bones. But I would love to cast everyone at Dropout. I just don't know, since we don't know when we're shooting. It was really hard to how do you ask someone, can I confirm you as cast? No idea when I'm shooting. Thanks. So I only confirmed 3 people as cast so far. So we have Sam Reich, Jordan Myrick, and Lily Dew, and Dhruv Uday Singh, but from the Dropout world. Yeah. And that to me is already great. All those people have agreed to do it. So basically once we lock our dates down, all those people are getting hit up. I would love to just work with only nice people and friends on this movie. I don't want any weird vibes on set. Yeah. So yeah, I will absolutely be trying to lock all those people down once we have a shoot date.
That's amazing. Can you tell us who Sam is playing?
I believe Sam will be playing one of the main character's neighbors who kind of comes over and butts in a lot.
That's very Sam Reich coded.
Yeah, so weird. I like that a lot. But I think he can nail it. Being annoying. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so exciting. I have to imagine seeing Izzy's Kickstarter or her science fiction supernatural death comedy had to be both very inspiring and exciting of we can do this, but also a moment of oh no, did Izzy just take all the money from people who want this type of movie?
You know what's funny? It didn't occur to me that both of us are sci-fi death movies until just the second. And I think that's because they really are super different.
Yeah.
Mine is they're both extra goofy, but in totally different ways. So I don't think that there's going to be a crossover if someone's why am I backing 2 similar movies? There really isn't much the same, except that they're both comedy sci-fis about death, which I think we could use more of.
Absolutely.
I think, so it didn't really even occur to me. That's my answer.
Great. Well, hey, It's at $24,048. We're just a skosh short of halfway there. You're an hour and 10 minutes in, I think. Like,
Hubba, hubba, guys.
gotta feel good.
Oh,
And you got at least, like, I don't know, one of the levels coming from me as soon as I'm not talking to you, because it feels
yes.
like it would be rude if I was like, hold on, as I like try to decide which level I want to back at. I can probably do that in 3 minutes.
Oh my God. Do you? Nobody has to
Yeah.
do anything. But I will say, I want one of those shirts.
Yeah, they're
I
very good.
only picked, like with Laser, I painstakingly was like, can we try these colors? Can we try these colors? Because it's like, I only want to provide a shirt I would wear. I hate when a piece of merch for a thing you like is ugly.
Yeah.
So hopefully you don't think my taste is ugly because I like those shirts.
They're great. Speaking of Laser, obviously, incredible job with Izzy's Kickstarter. Incredible job with your Kickstarter. One of the things that I'm guessing Laser was the hand in this, and I'm hoping it is the same for your movie, that I really, really adore about Kickstarters is once you hit a certain level, like let's say you just like Wildest Dreams cleared. I don't know what we're gonna do. He had it so that it was the Kickstarter became about creating a community rather than like how much money we can raise.
Yeah.
And it became like a hey, I don't care if you give $1, but if we can get the number of people up, that's going to be our next like goals. And it was so
Yeah.
cool. And I'm hoping for the same thing for yours. One, that you crush all of your wildest dreams beyond imagination, but also building that community is cool as hell. So
Yes. I
shout out
just
to
wrote that
Laser.
down in case that's not Laser's goal. I literally
Yeah.
just wrote down what you said on my Joko schedule because I'm going on the Joko cruise this weekend
Hey.
that I've written on the back of an envelope. And if I accidentally showed my address, Jordan, please take that out.
Will do. All right, Rekha, absolutely amazing. $24,263 to close out the time that we have together. The Dynasty typewriter tonight. Joko Cruise, probably too late to get tickets this weekend.
Yes.
Where else could people see you this year?
Well, check out RekhaMovie.com to get updates on this thing. Also, I perform live at UCB several times a week. So check that out. I have a show I do every month with Jordan Myrick and Lily Dew and Rachel Pegram called Gossip Night. I have another show called Art Begets Show where we interview cool creatives. We're interviewing like an ASMR artist next month or in April. And we do improv off of it. So check that out. And then check out my Instagram. I usually post all the latest updates there of like when I'm going live, when I'm doing like a cook with me segment or whatever. So I'm all over, man.
Yeah. And been posting a lot of like old college humor stuff.
Yes.
That is super fun.
I'm like, why am I letting these just like sit in a box, basically? Like this is, I'm really proud of these sketches.
Yeah, get the secret meat
Mhm.
for everyone to see.
I
Absolutely
know.
fantastic.
I know.
Rekha, an absolute blast. Hey, what is your Instagram in case people don't know?
Yes, it's at Rekha, R as in Robert, E as in elephant, K as in kitten, H as in Harold, A as in Amy, _ S as in Sam. That's me. Every phone call I ever do, I have my military alphabet for my name.
Have I told you how I got people to spell your name correctly?
Do you say haha like funny?
Yeah,
some people do that.
You'll wreck people with your jokes. So
oh, that's funny.
That's why the K is in front of the H. So that's how people can remember.
I've heard some people say something like that. That's very helpful. It doesn't, I get if people misspell it. The only thing I worry about is if someone is like, if a millionaire, if one of our donors is like, I have $1 million.
Is trying to hit that deity level at $9,999.
Exactly. And they're like, REHKA, no Kickstarter. Guess I'll throw this money in the trash. That is always my worry, is that I'm not searchable because people don't know how to spell my name. That is my worry because I want work.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Thank
didn't
you.
even get to ask you about Wait, Don't Tell Me. You were so fantastic on it.
Jordan, that was so freaking fun. Holy crap. It was so fun. The other two panelists were so nice to me, even though I didn't know what was happening. Because you did great. Thank you. They brief you, but you can only be briefed so much before doing a rapid fire round of like fill in the blanks where you're like, huh? We're going too fast. But it was so fun.
Yeah. I was listening to the episode and I was like, man, I've never called in. But had I called in, I would have picked yours, even though I was so confident it wasn't you on the Bluff the Listener game, just so that you would have gotten the points.
You don't think that there's a real job about being a woman that hides in the background of someone's house and buys a shirt that blends in with the wallpaper, and then she can step in and judge your family arguments?
I weirdly don't. Anyway, breakup, absolutely amazing.
Thank
Go
you, Jordan.
celebrate $24,314. I think we
Thank
made a little bit more
you.
since the last time I said
Oh.
it, which means like probably tonight during the live stream, people will get to see it break 50. That's
I
going
would
to be
love
my
that.
prediction.
Thank
So,
you.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Jordan.
I don't know how to
Appreciate
name
ya.
you. Just going to hit stop recording.
Love it.